Hey, competition time, folks. Coming shortly, Ben Brown, extreme kayaker. We've got that box of e-shots to give away from our good friends at Red Bull. What is Ben Brown, a kayaker or a canoeist? Text Red Bull to 5009 and say kayaker or canoeist.
Tomato or tomato?
Tomato.
Tomato?
Tomato. You say tomato, I'll say tomato. So,
tomato,
text Red Bull to 5009. Kayaker or canoeist is Ben Brown. Listen closely. He's coming next live from somewhere in Europe. We think possibly Norway. It's coming next on The Big Show.
Tomato,
I'll push the button. Push the button.
You're listening to Sport Lately with Mark Watson and Stephen McIver, Thursday nights. Thanks to House of Travel. For the best travel deals, visit hot.co.nz.
Yeah, they say life is all about freedom. It's all about experiencing the world, living the dream, and how good is this guy at doing that? His name is Ben Brown, brought up in the Waikato. He's a Red Bull adventure kayaker, and be fair to say he's just a little bit different. Evening to you, Ben.
How are you?
Are you a little bit different, Ben?
I am at the moment. You might have to bear with me. I've just been driving for the last 20 hours without a wink of sleep, so definitely feeling a little bit different at the moment.
That Red Bull keeps you awake, though?
It sure has been, yeah. I've been chain drinking those things.
Where have you come from in 20 hours?
We've driven back down towards the southern area of Norway from a town up in the Arctic Circle called Narvik, where we've been exploring a whole lot of new rivers up in that region.
Tell us, Ben, Stephen McIver, thanks for giving us the time, buddy. What sort of rivers are we talking about? Big rivers, small rivers, glacial rivers, fast, slow, what sort?
Yes. All the above. Yeah, well, basically Norway as a destination is pretty renowned in kayaking circles as a really world-class location. But the majority of the kayaking that's been done is in the southern valleys, and our whole mission on this trip was to go up and explore the northern region, and we didn't really know what we were going to find up there, and what we sort of uncovered was like I say, a really wide variety of rivers. We had really steep alpine creeks, we had high-volume glacial rivers, and we also just actually got off a 3-day self-support expedition, which was a first descent down a river from its source all the way to the sea, and it flowed between two of Norway's largest glaciers, so that was a bit of a highlight of the trip for sure.
How long was that, buddy?
The river itself is about 35 kilometres, but it dropped from about 750 metres above sea level right down to sea level, so we had some pretty serious gradient to deal with over that sort of course of the river. Scary? Yeah, for sure, scary in bits, but went through some pretty breathtaking scenery, and when you're doing these first descents, it's always a bit of a step into the unknown, and it can be a bit hit and miss, and this one was sort of one of the ones out of the bag where everything sort of came together for us, and yeah, I had a great crew, and it was in a great location, and the whitewater that we discovered in there was world class. So you don't always get that lucky, but it was nice to have pulled that one off for sure.
Define world class whitewater.
Oh, that's a tricky one. For us, basically, what we're looking for is obviously spectacular whitewater. Obviously, in a sport where you're dealing with inherent risks that come along with paddling whitewater, you're sort of having a pretty tough decision to weigh up risk versus reward. So you're looking for something that looks fairly spectacular without being spectacularly dangerous, I guess. And we found quite a lot of that type of stuff in there.
Now, you've been kayaking for 16 years. I think you started around about the age of 13. I want to try and put this in context for New Zealanders. When was the first time you did the Hooker Falls?
I did the Hooker Falls for the first time in 1995, I think, or 96, in my sixth form year at high school. So
you're nuts.
Yeah, a wee while ago.
You're nuts. Why would you want to go over the Hooker Falls?
Why wouldn't you?
Okay, I want you to take me through going over the Hooker Falls, because I stood and looked at those things, and I'm assuming when you talk about high volume, you're talking about the volume of water. What goes through your mind when you think, oh, well, I could be crushed at the bottom of this?
Well, you try not to think about that too much. The Hooker Falls, they come up in conversation quite a bit just because everybody, sees them, I guess, and in terms of actual difficulty with even New Zealand, they're not even not even close to the hardest rapids that get paddled with in New Zealand. But they're a pretty exciting rapid to paddle. It's the closest, I guess, in our sport that we're going to get to paddling in a grandstand, I guess, because there's always tourists there cheering you on. But sort of in terms of what you go through when you're paddling the hard water, I think the biggest amount of fear that you face is when you're actually looking at a rapid and weighing up whether or not you want to paddle it. But, once you've made that decision to actually go and you take that last stroke past the point of no return, all your sort of thoughts and feelings and fear and apprehension all sort of disappears, and you become totally focused on the task at hand, and it actually ends up not being that scary, if that makes any sense.
It makes complete sense.
Ben, how important's your dad been in your career?
He's been huge. He's been, he's not a kayaker himself, but he comes from a pretty adventurous background. He's done a lot of open ocean yacht racing, and both him and my mum were very, very supportive of, anything that us kids, used to put our minds to. And when I sort of found in kayaking something that I was very, very passionate about, they got right in behind me and supported me right through it. And even when it started to become, I guess, more of a career path, even though it was probably not what they'd visualised, a job for their son to be doing, that never stopped them being 100% behind me all the time. So yeah, they've been a big influence on me for sure.
Do you make a living in the sport?
Yeah, we scrape by. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have the support of some amazing companies that sort of share my dreams and ambitions, and appreciate what I'm doing within the sport and the direction I'm taking with my career. And I make a good living. I paddle 12 months out of the year and get to travel all around the world, and I've paddled in upwards of 50 countries. So, it's definitely a lifestyle choice rather than a career choice, but it's definitely a pretty privileged position to be in, to actually get paid to do something that you love.
Ben, I want to know what the Everest of canoeing is, and kayaking, excuse me, the Everest of kayaking. What is the ultimate goal, the ultimate river to do?
That's a tricky one. I mean, it depends who you talk to. There's,
For you, what's your one?
For me, I think, the Congo is one that stands out in my mind. It's it's a river that is sort of shrouded in mystery. It's the highest volume river in the world, and obviously flows through a part of the world that's pretty unstable. But for me, there's not one particular river. There's just, every time I go to a new place or research a new adventure, another goal comes up and another goal comes up, and it's hard to sort of focus on one particular goal when there's just so many rivers out there that are there to be paddled. And it's funny that you actually mention Everest, because the next adventure after we've finished this one is to actually go to the base of Everest and do a 2-week descent on the river that flows out from there. So that's kind of appropriate, I guess.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Ben, you're constantly chasing this. I mean, there's dangers involved in this sport. Do you ever feel like you're just playing Russian roulette? No, it's not the risks we take are obviously there, and we're aware of them. But there's no heroes on the river. The ultimate goal is for everyone to make it down at the end of the day, and to have had a fun and enjoyable time on the river. And Russian roulette is a game of chance, and what we do is very, very calculated. And when you look at the footage and see what we do, it might look like we're sort of plunging blindly off the edge of huge waterfalls, but what you don't see is the years of experience that's gone into it, and also the amount of time we spend scouting the rapid, deciding what's going to be the safest line, and then putting safety in place for to make it as a controlled environment as possible. On your vast travels, what have you learned about women?
Jeez, you put me on the spot here, mate.
I'm just reading a little bit of a bio.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, I won't repeat that one. I've learned.
No, please repeat that one. That's why I asked it.
I forget what I said. What did I say?
I have learnt that women are like rivers. They can be calm, tranquil and serene 1 minute, and a raging, uncontrollable beast the next. You can never master them. Just go with the flow and hope for the best.
There you go. Okay, I'll stick with that.
All right, Ben. Hey, Ben, look, thanks for giving us some time here on the big show, and I know the Red Bull team are excited about where you're going next. Hey, people can follow you on your website, can they not?
Yep, they can follow me on www.benbrown.co.nz. I keep that fairly regularly updated with all my adventures as they unfold.
All right, and your brother downtown, Sammy Brown, says g'day too, and he says you're still nuts.
Good one. Hey, Stephen, can I just take a moment to thank a couple of my other sponsors while I've got you there?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool, mate. Hey, so I've got on board with me at the moment Palm Equipment from Europe, who make all my life jackets, Teva Footwear, Oakley Sunglasses, Riot Kayaks, and A2 Paddles, who all sort of fund the adventures and make what I do possible. So I'm very, very grateful to those awesome companies.
All right, and we're grateful to have you here, and our thanks to Red Bull for letting us have a chat to you. Good on you, buddy. Take it easy, and please be safe.
I will do. Thanks, guys. Awesome to chat to you.
All right, pleasure. Ben Brown, how good's that guy?
I'm speaking to him. I'm sitting here. I look at what he's doing, and I'm saying to myself, one of these teapots is not the same.
No. You know, after listening to him, after listening to Ben Brown, the guy's got his head well and truly screwed on. Scouts everything, does it right, and he's about to go to Everest and go down the river from the base. Unbelievable. And you heard it here right here on the Big Show.